Oh my gosh. It is time for macro homework. Oh, the COVID pandemic. I've heard of this one. Wow, I can't believe real GDP dropped by 30%. And unemployment rose to almost 15%? Oh my gosh, the short-run equilibrium was so much lower than the long run. And the economy was all the way to the right in the Phillips curve. What a recession. Wow, that's crazy. Huh? Who are these guys? Mr. Clifford and John Green? That's weird. My grandfather's last name was Clifford.
Hey, hi Dean Con students. Oh wait, it's just you. Wait, where am I? No, when am I?
I'm John Green, and this is Crash Course. Wait, who are you? And where's your mask?
It's the year 2060. We don't need a mask. That was so 2020.
Oh, you're from the future. That means you must know what happens to the economy after the pandemic, right?
Not exactly. I was just reading about it and it was crazy. How can you fix an economy that bad?
Well, I imagine the actions by Congress and the Fed helped a ton. I made a video about this on YouTube.
What's YouTube?
Never mind. In my time, Congress passed the $8.3 billion emergency fund and the CARES Act, which authorized around $2 trillion to combat the coronavirus pandemic. What this does is increase government spending, which leads to an increase in GDP. This shifts aggregate demand to the right to combat the recessionary gap. And since aggregate demand increases, there will be an upwards movement along the Phillips curve. One con of this is there might be a time lag. Because of this, it might be difficult to determine whether or not these policies were beneficial for the economy.
Also, in my time, the Fed lowered the discount rate from 1.75% to 0.25%. The Fed also lowered its interest rates down to 0.1%. By decreasing the interest rate and the discount rate, the Fed hopes to encourage consumer and investment spending by increasing the money supply. This results in a shift right of the aggregate demand curve. Also, this increased investment spending could lead to technological gains, which could lead to long-run economic growth. However, the Fed has to be careful when making these decisions, as overborrowing when interest rates are low can cause hyperinflation.
Because the government is using an expansionary policy, the budget deficit should increase. Persistent large deficits lead to a rising national debt to GDP ratio. If government spending continues, the long-run fiscal health of the economy could be at risk. Hey kid, how much is that pencil over there worth?
Oh, this? Only like $20.
That makes sense. Using expansionary policies leads to lower unemployment, but higher inflation, as shown in the Phillips curve.
That's crazy. What if the government took like different measures? How would things be different today?
Well, the government could have just not done anything. According to the classical theory of economics, the economy is self-correcting, and any inflationary or recessionary gaps will eventually shift back to normal. However, this shift takes time. Also, if the economy did self-correct, the high unemployment rate would result in wages decreasing in the long run. Additionally, the low production costs would push the short-run aggregate supply curve to the right, thus closing the recessionary gap and returning the economy to full unemployment.
The government can also lower taxes, which will encourage consumer and investment spending, which will increase aggregate demand back to equilibrium. Hey kid, I was just wondering, who's your pops? Cause you got that signature Clifford nose.
Hey son, you wouldn't have happened to have seen my God, what's my daddy doing in that there textbook?
Son?
That you, Dad?
Grandpa?
Hey!
Skirt, skirt.
Yeah. It's supply and demand, developing a brand and determining what should be built on land. It's what should be produced for whom and how. It's the choices we need to make here and now.
It's the value of property, money, and time, which are driven by markets as they fall and climb. So a wealthy neighborhood that's on the decline becomes more affordable down the line.
Economics has more than one singular voice. It's what you decide, it's study of choice.
Hey, hey.
Economics is more than just a gain or loss, it's scarcity, choice, and opportunity cost. Economics is more than one singular voice. It's what you decide, it's a study of choice. Economics is more than just a gain or loss, it's scarcity, choice, and opportunity cost.
Yeah.